Hello everyone. So here's I adjust the music volume a little. Just a bit, make sure I can still hear it, but that's not loud. There we go. Can y'all hear me now? I'm hoping so. There we go. Now. Cool. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well, well rested, well caffeinated, and having yourselves a good day / night. How do you do? I am still in a lot of pain. So every time I move, everything decides to scream. Still loud. Shocked the music's still loud. Why is the music still loud? The music's insanely loud for some reason. Let's see what's up with that. Oh. Let's do that. And do that. Sorry, you're not doing much better. I'm doing the best I can. I appreciate the patches you sent, because if you hadn't have sent those, I wouldn't even be alive right now. Ugh. Lord help me. But yes, hello. How are you all? I hope you're having a good day / night. I'm sorry that this week has been kind of shit. I haven't got my back checked out, but I have an appointment. Why is that not hiding stuff? Stuff like you normally do. Come on. There we go. Glad we could help patch you up. Having a little pain in the gourd, huh? It's more pain in the vine. Ugh. It's very concerning. Good to know you're still alive. I am very much still alive. We are still here. Being a nuisance to all that know us. Ugh. It has been a chaotic day today. Everyone I know today has had some kind of chaos go on. Either they're having a bad day, a weird day, or something is happening some way, somehow. I drove Mizu to work today, and on the way home, I saw a car accident. But it wasn't a car accident it wasn't kind of car accident you normally see. I saw a dump truck, and the dump truck had been completely like yeeted onto its side. It was an absolute mess, and it looked like, luckily, no one was seriously hurt in said car accident today. But like, that's the kind of like weird shit we saw today. Muscle and nerve. I think it's my sciatic nerve. And it has been screaming at me. Mars must be up to his shenanigans. I checked, it wasn't a full moon, so Mars would make sense. Because the moon sure as hell don't. But yeah, no, it's been an absolute, it's been chaos all over the place. Peeps I know, all the places I've been today, something's going wrong some way, somehow. Like, just, Lord help me. I feel like I've been beat with a stick. I think a lot of it's the weather around here, because it'll be fine 1 minute and then like it's super hard raining and then it's fine again. and then like the weather's losing its shit. It can't decide what it wants to do or be today. I was out celebrating my mother-in-law's B-Day yesterday. Oh, I hope that went well. I have been diving down a rabbit hole in my downtime while still trying to I'm trying to design stuff still. I'm still trying to get stuff done. Do you need a new computer chairs? No, the chair seems fine. Especially after I got a couple components on it fixed. The chair seems fine for the most part. Interesting Legos. Don't judge the weather. It just had a bit too much to drink. Lord, it definitely do be... definitely it do be drunk. It needs to go home. No wonder your back is hurt. Stop chasing rabbits. Also, how are you doing, Fuzzy? I hope you're well. Found interesting Legos. What Legos did you find? Sitting hurts. Sitting is the thing that hurts the most right now. Laying down is the thing that helps. I was half tempted to I have a folding table. Not for folding people. But I have a folding card table that I was half tempted to just say fuck it and put in my office and just lay on it while streaming. The only issue is I'm no longer at camera level when I do it. And the amount of setup it would have taken would have been astronomical. And I'm still pretty hefty. I don't want to put that kind of weight on the table. But I almost did that. The sitting is killing. Better now. Here, 1 minute snowing, next minute it's hotter than Satan's asshole. Nerve compression? I'm wondering if that's the case. I'm hoping it's not, but I'm wondering if that's the case. I've got an appointment scheduled because they couldn't see me immediately, so I've got an appointment scheduled for next week, and hopefully we get something done. Damn. Even my model looks pained, Jesus Christ. But no, the only time I've had any major relief is when I'm wrapped up in heat or using the lidocaine patches that dude sent me seem to be working to at least knock the edge off of things, or I'm laying down. And that seems to be the only way I'm getting any forms of relief. A lot of it's laying down, but I don't like laying down. So, of course, my body is screaming at me. As well as apparently my birds. But no, I've been going down, all sorts of different rabbit holes while I'm... Because I keep wind up having to go back and lay down for a while. I lay down for 30 minutes, 30, anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. I'll lay down to kind of relax for a bit, and then as soon as I feel okay enough to get back up, we get back up. But during that time frame, I wind up scrolling YouTube, and I've been going down the rabbit hole of horror anime. And I'm learning more and more of just how little horror anime is out there, as well as I'm seeing new peeps explore and find old horror anime. And there's a lot of anime that I love that a lot of peeps that are discovering it now do not. And what I hate about that is I'll then listen to what they have to say about it, rewatch part of it, and it starts to make sense why they don't, and it makes me like the anime I'm watching a little less. I love the horror anime called Another. It has some of the wildest fucking deaths in horror anime, like, ever. Ever. But going back and watching it after you hear someone be super critical about it, Shiki Watch Party 2026, who's with me? I really should. I really should. I really should. I went back and watched Another, and after watching Another again, like watching parts of it again, the kills are great, but the kills are also incredibly stupid. As well as the story is actually kind of bad. And I was mad because I was looking at it through like a more critical lens. I was like, yeah, you've seen better since then, and because you have, this isn't as good as you remember it being. So I've learned that if I enjoy a horror anime, I need to be very wary going back and watching it again. Because like I've had two that like going back and rewatching them, they just don't feel as good to watch. Like watching Another, and what really got me was Elven Lied. Like Elven Lied used to really fuck with me, and now I can go back and watch it. It's like, man, there's a lot of weird and or dumb shit in this anime. Now, granted, if you read the manga is a little bit better on it because, like, they leave some key points out from the story. A lot of the story is the same, but if you read the manga, it's a little bit better because, like, it explains things a little bit better, but it's still not great. Heavily has not aged well at all. It has not. Still gets the nostalgia points for me. It does for me. Like, I can still rewatch it. But it's one of those, like, I always kind of had trouble, like, telling people this is a great one to go watch. Go watch this. Because of, like, how... Ooh, yeet. It's been a while since we've had a yeet. I didn't even see the ooh, yeet happen. I just saw that happen. But good on you. Lord. Oh, the opening theme is still phenomenal. But that's actually something you miss from the anime that you get from the manga. In the manga, there's a character that sings that song. Sorry if I'm glitched out. Oh, you yeeted, dude! Don't yeet, dude! What's wrong with you? What the hell? Shaman, Jesus! I thought that was a yeet over on the Twitch side, because usually YouTube freaks out when it yeets somebody. Jeebus. Goes to the shunned corner. Lord help me. Oh. But yeah, like, going back and like watching that, like there's things like that, like you get to know that character in the manga, you don't get to know them in the anime. Like there's a lot of things like that that are taken out from it. It's still like it hasn't aged well. Like it hasn't. It's better if you have that, but it's still it still has not aged well. A lot of older horror anime that I used to hold in very high regard has not aged well. I will still say probably my favorite one still holds up very well. I still tell people you need to go watch this one. It's called School Live. It is phenomenal. Like, but I hate trying to suggest that anime to people. I hate it. I hate trying to suggest it to people because it is a phenomenal anime, and it's one that like even non-horror peeps can enjoy. But the second I tell you this is a horror anime and to go watch it, I've already spoiled part of it for you. Like, the very first second that I mentioned, this is horror, go watch it. I've already spoiled part of the first episode for you. Because the opening and everything for the first episode, they don't let you know that it's scary at all. Have you watched Dress Up Darling yet? I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list, but I've been going through like I'm going through like wanting to watch either dark or scary anime right now. And that's all I've been watching. I haven't caught up on Doctor Stone. I got like 2 episodes of Doctor Stone to get caught up on. I haven't caught up on JJK yet. I've got like 4 episodes that I'm behind on that one. Like there are like several that are on my watch list that kind of hit the back burner for me to rewatch some things, as well as I started watching an anime that I thoroughly am freaking enjoying. It was a pain in the ass to find. I have been watching through a series called Recreators. Shiki isn't perfect, but I stand by it for anyone who has at least a modicum of patience, because it's a slow boil. Well, Shiki is probably one of my other favorite animes. My only issue with Shiki is that like it's a horror anime that doesn't have anything that feels like really scary about it until like you're like at your midway point of the series. And it takes a lot of build up to get to that point to make it where like it finally has like things you can be like, oh god. And then like the ending is what makes that entire series. It like if you can stick out that series, because it is slow, if you can stick out that series, the ending rewards you heavily. There's payoff for every last bit of it if you can watch it till the end. I tell everybody needs to see that one. I have a couple that I will never watch again. I didn't like them when I first watched them, and I hate them more now. The King's Game animes. The King's Game anime. The manga sucked. I'm shocked it got an anime, because the anime sucked just as bad. It is so bad. Answer your question from before, but it was fine. I worked and there was only 2 of us, and it was busy at some points with downtime at others, and when there's downtime, I think a lot. My brain just thinks of random things to fill the silence. If you heard my brain, you'd think I'm crazy. Lord, I understand that on a fucking molecular level. I'll talk to myself in my head about random things and then link it to something else and then start talking as if I'm having a conversation with someone. My brain is the best. Man, Lord, I feel that. Lord, I fucking feel that. That's how half the weird shit gets started on this channel. Next week is the last episode of Dr. Stone. I've got to get caught up. Also, how's it going, Violet? I hope you're well. But yeah, Lord, I feel that on a molecular level. That's how conversations like this start. Oh, ow, god damn. Okay. No, do not watch King's Game. King's Game is just bad. Like, King's Game, the only thing it has going for it is if you like gore in your anime, there's a lot of it. But the problem is like the gore doesn't even fucking make sense. Like everything about the King's Game doesn't make sense. Okay, I want to explain the King's Game real quick because I have to. Sick at work on antibiotics. What are you sick with? Okay, so King's Game is a horror anime. And I use, man, I wish I had hands to do quotations. Diabolic Lovers is a vampire anime that will make you hope for all the characters to die. Ruined anime for a while for me. Jesus Christ. And I've heard of that one, I've never seen it. Like, similar to games, there's a lot of good action horror, but not always a lot of good horror. See, I can completely agree with that. And I'm going to get into uh, I want to get into Recreators because it's a good action horror. Um, don't Diabolical Lovers. I'm trying to remember who I'd heard it from because that's why I didn't watch it. I heard it from someone that the way they described it to me, because they liked it, and the way they described it to me made me very much not want to see it. It made me very like question. Made me question a lot of what they liked in anime. There's someone who's close to me. I can't remember who the fuck it was, but like they were like, "Oh yeah, I love this thing," and da da da. You should watch it. But as they explained the anime to me, I was like, "No, no, 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 no." Not me then, because I did not like it at all. You've got strep throat. Lord, that's right. Hey, you stop that. Strep throat sucks. Should make patch like the Mii's, no arms, just floating hands. I've thought about that. Basically, give him Rayman hands. Satisfaction to feel sleepy at night shift for once. Okay, but like to explain King's Game, before I get into like explaining anime I'm actually enjoying, and I'm not done with Recreatorship, I'm going to explain that one in a bit. No, I watched through King's Game. I had originally read part of the manga and then stopped reading the manga to watch the anime. Because someone had told me the anime was better. Again, I shouldn't have listened to this person. This was a different person who told me to watch the other one. I like, okay, so this is going to probably make people think I'm a little weird, batshit, whatever. Don't care. I like gory horror. I gained a love for this back when I was watching live action horror movies like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, stuff like this. And part of the reason why I liked it so much was when I was watching it and would watch it with my dad would explain the practical effects of all of this to me. So I had an affinity for it just off of how practical effects worked. And it's why I get really upset seeing CGI in a lot of horror movies. But I also had the morbid curiosity of the fear behind the ones that looked realistic. So I started watching horror anime. I was drawn to horror anime, and usually a lot of ones that sit on the more violent side of things, stuff like Elven Lied. I was like, okay, cool, da-da-da. These things would always make me uncomfortable, but at the same time, I liked that it could take me out of my comfort zone, because I'm very jaded when it comes to all things scary. But body horror will definitely get a hold of my fucking attention. So, I would suggest a King's Game because they know that I wind up watching usually the gorier side of horror. I was like, okay, cool, we'll watch it. Da-da-da. Anime starts off, you have a kid who's moved to a new school, and he, honestly, weirdly enough, starts fitting in very quickly. Kind of. Everybody wants to be his buddy, and you know, like they want the camaraderie of classroom. They, you know, like, come hang out with us, come be buds with us, so on and so forth. Da da da. Some girls have a crush on him because he's a good-looking character. You know, that kind of shit. Like it's not your normal kind of situation where a new kid comes to class, is ridiculously good-looking, and for some reason nobody wants to talk to him because everyone's like, nope, he's weird, or he's creepy, or he's a nerd. When he doesn't fit any of those tropes, he's just a guy. Yeah, it's not one of those. They throw him in and say, bam, here you are. And everybody wants to be his buddy, and he doesn't want to be buddies with anybody. They don't tell you why for a good minute into this. Episode keeps progressing. They keep trying to throw him into stuff like the school festival and like the athletics competition, and finally he starts, you know, maybe things can be different in this school. Maybe things can be okay here. And he starts hanging out with all the peeps in class, and he keeps doing stuff. He starts to become friends. And about the time that like he's finally, yay, I can be happy again. At night, a text message is sent out to everyone in his classroom. And it's in the form of a dare labeled the King's Game. The king issues out a command in the form of a dare and tells someone in the classroom that you must do something. And in this case, it says that one student has to kiss another. Everybody thinks that this is sent from the new guy because he'd already said that, like, he'd had trouble making friends and, like, he didn't really want to have friends and this, that, and the other. So maybe they thought, like, maybe he was trying to play a prank or some kind of weird shit. They thought that's what they thought about this. Especially when he comes into class the next day and says, don't do this. It's like, don't do this, da da da, so on and so forth. I think it was the challenge. Yeah, the challenge was originally issued to him, and he had to do a thing, and he was like, nope. King's Game. The garbage one.
It sounded familiar. Kind of similar, but it wasn't that. So I got curious.
You have one in there. I'm explaining how bad this is. Mizu's here. Okay, so issues challenge. He says, "Don't do the challenge." Da da da, and the girl in the class that he's supposed to kiss is like, "Well, you know, I would technically be fine with that." Da da da, because she has a crush on him. This, that, and the other, so on and so forth. And he's like, "Nope, not going to do it." And what he's thinking is that if he doesn't do the challenge, because he knows what this is, he knows the rules of what this game is. Because we're going to get into why he knows in a minute, but he knows what the outcome of this is, and he starts to explain the fact that it's a cruel game, that if you don't follow the rules, it winds up doing this, that, and the other, and bad things happen. Well, what he doesn't immediately explain is that if you do the first thing on the list, if the first dare is met, you activate the King's Game. Upon the King's Game being activated, anyone who fails to do whatever their quest or whatever their challenge or their dare is, dies. But they don't die in normal ways. So he's thinking that if he can just not do the challenge and die himself, that he'll save his class. You find out later this would have not been the case. It would have just been him dying just for the sake of dying. But the girl goes to meet him. She goes to find him, goes to meet him, and is really kind of pushy on getting that kiss. And he's like, nah, I ain't feeling it. You don't want to be a part of this, so on and so forth. And she lunges in and she kisses him, and the challenge is met, and everyone gets another text message. And, we start to find out that the girl has also been in this game before, and she's not a good guy. She does an immediate 180 and becomes just like the most awful person after this, because she's like, I thought you had a plan. I thought you were going to save us. You're fucking useless, and just loses her fucking mind. Then tries to get the others to beat the hell out of him by accusing him of all sorts of stuff to punish him for not helping her achieve her goal, basically. You start to watch what happens to people that don't follow the rules. The challenges can be as simple as don't fall asleep. If you fall asleep, you're screwed. They get this message at one point in time, and they send this like at midnight when half the students are already asleep. So students start dying left and right. If you fail, it texts everybody, says you failed, and then tells people how you're going to die. And the first group of kids that start dying die by basically by hanging, by ropes that are not attached to anything. This is important for later because this makes me really irritated. You have one person who disobeys a command, and they basically have holes explode all over the body and they bleed out. You have ones that spontaneously fucking combust. You have a rule that goes through that says you can't cry, no crying, after they've been at this for like a week. Or not even a week, but like it's been almost about a week of going through this kind of torture. And no one can cry, no crying. Don't cry because you've lost people. If you cry within the allotted time frame, you'll die. One guy just he's found out something about the King's game. He's found out information, and finding it out, it's horrifying, which already puts him in a rough state. And then his girlfriend cries, not having read the message saying not to cry, and she dies. So then he cries. When she dies, she has a heart attack and she just dies. His, though, the game decides to punish him super fucking hard and basically super contorts his body by like spinning his arms around, spinning his hands around at the joint, spinning his head around on his neck, and then ripping him the fuck apart. So you think all this shit is some supernatural bullshit, right? That's what this sounds like. This is not what the fuck it is. You later find out that essentially this is a mimetic virus that the second you answer your phone and see the challenge, as soon as you see that text, you are basically infected with a fucking virus that causes your body to subconsciously do whatever the fuck it's told to do when you fail. That's how people spontaneously combust. That's how you float in the air and somehow hang yourself. That's how you rip your own body apart. It forces your body to just do whatever the hell it's told to do. It's not psychic powers. It's not magic shit. No, it's supposed to be some kind of fucking virus. This shit got two full-run mangas and 2 anime. The base series and a prequel. Huh? Tokyo game? Tokyo? I don't think I'm familiar with that.
It's a similar concept where a specific classroom is... Okay, so you know how in a lot of Japanese animes in schools they have like, you know, people voting like, oh, who's the prettiest girl or who's the most handsome guy in the school or in the class, yada yada.
They've got music on.
Essentially, it takes the concept of like
I have no idea what your comments
popularity voting to eliminate.
Okay, popularity voting to
so it started off as something simple as like, who do you think is the prettiest girl in the class? And you know, people voted. Whoever got, the person that got last place ended up disappearing.
Also, I agree that Noragami needs a season 3.
Initially, they thought that, oh, like this person got so upset that they basically got voted the ugliest and just left the school, until they got the message saying that they were just unalive.
Huh.
And everybody in the classroom started getting more and more prompts where they have to vote. And whoever gets voted out dies in the most horrific way possible. One of them
got voted out, and if I remember correctly, I could be getting another in this mixed up with some of the scenes, but one of them got literally just like shattered, like got killed by a falling piece of glass.
Ow.
And you watch the classroom start disappearing one by one, and the main character ends up finding out who is behind it all and whatnot. But yeah, it's a similar concept.
Sounds like it might be better done than Kingsgate. Kingsgate was awful.
In this one, if I remember correctly, because I read this like 10 or so years ago. If I remember correctly, this was like based on a curse kind of situation. Not really, but whoever survived, whoever was like the last person to survive in the previous voting games, ends up being the one that's now hosting this new voting game.
Spoilers.
I'm not spoiling who. I couldn't remember if that was another or if it was from this.
The last one?
Yeah. I know they had one in that. I know they had a kill like that in another. I just can't remember if they had one in this.
It also happens in Final Destination 2.
Yeah.
They make you think he's gonna die in the dentist's office. Nope. Also, hello Destiny, how are you doing? Got a bad music from posting spoilers.
But yeah, it's a good read. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well,
I think there's like 4 books.
King's Game was awful. And essentially, King's Game ends with it basically being, this is inevitable. It's like this is a virus that's going to spread throughout humanity, and there's no way to stop it. This is going to basically cause the apocalypse kind of type deal, and it's just it is so bad. It is so unsatisfying. It is so frustrating. It just, God, it irks me. Now, comparing it to an action horror that I've been watching a series called Recreators. This is actually an anime from 2017. And there wasn't a lot said about this when it was first announced. Now, I've been told, but I haven't seen information on this yet. But I've been told by somebody that originally this... all right, bye, baby. Wow. So I'd have to look more into this to get confirmation on this, but I've been told multiple times that the Recreators anime was originally supposed to be a game, and it was supposed to be a game that took like characters from actual like very popular properties. It had a massive budget behind it, which if you watch it, you can definitely tell for 2017 it had a big budget. But originally they were trying to get it like to be a game and to be oriented around like characters from different properties, like people from like characters from Dragon Ball, characters from like Persona, stuff like that. And if you watch the series, you can definitely tell where every one of these characters, who they were supposed to be. You can definitely tell exactly who all these characters were supposed to be. So I can definitely see a lot of credence to that claim that's being made. But essentially, in the series, you have our main character, whom of which he's watching an anime. He's watching the latest episode of an anime, and all of a sudden, in the middle of it, he gets drug into it. And in the process of getting drug into it, he gets drug into a battle that's going on between one of the other main characters and the bad guy. And it's just pure and utter chaos all throughout the fight. And all of a sudden, they wind up, to get away from the bad guy, they wind up getting drugged out of the anime and into the real world. The full premise for this is that what you have are creations from different forms of media. We're talking manga, we're talking anime, we're talking video games, all that kind of jazz, that are being drugged into the real world by a presence that is telling them to go and meet their creators. And if they do, they can use their creators to basically change either the character themselves or their story. Make things, basically, you can make things better. You can make things better for you, you can make things better for your universe, whatever. You can do all sorts of stuff. And in the process of this, our world is not meant to handle these characters that have all these different supernatural abilities. But the world is trying its damnedest to do so. They drag a character in, and if the character can fly, the world tries to find a way to make sense and let the character fly. If the character has superpowers, it tries to compensate. It tries to make the world compensate for the character's superpowers. And sometimes this works, and in other cases it doesn't. Like the magical girl has powers, and her entire thing is like shooting stuff with like hearts and good vibes and stuff like this. Like Sailor Moon, like superpower. So not even remotely close. Not knockoff Digimon. It is nothing like Digimon. I love Digimon. This is a way better story than anything in Digimon. Because for one, they're not all digital creations. Some of them are just ripped from manga. Some ripped from this, that, and the other. In Digimon, they are Digimon. Like they live in their own little digital world. They have all their own little digital stuff. Their world goes on in tandem with our own. In Recreators, their world is contained to whatever is created for them by their author. So they only have knowledge up to the point of which the characters are created. And they actually wind up getting into like some decent discussions on this, because you'll have some characters that come from very well-written worlds, so their characters very fleshed out, very well designed, has the ability to respond to things a lot easier, so on and so forth, versus other characters that aren't fleshed out, that aren't written well, that are maybe just an archetype style character, like you're all think of like all stereotypes for like a shonen character. We have one of those in the series. There's a character that is literally just that, and because that's about all he's written to be, and that's all that they did with him in his series, that's all he is in the real world. He doesn't know how to function properly in our world with the way our world works with stuff, because he has no character depth. So like they show what that does to this character. There's another character that is essentially kind of an insert for like Guts from Berserk. They come from a horrific war-torn world with demons and monsters and so on and so forth, and they've lived basically the Guts life. They've lived a just excruciating life. And when they go to their creator, they're like, why the fuck did you make this? How was this entertaining? Why was my suffering and my world's suffering entertaining? And like goes through great lengths to make their creator answer for why did you do this? I really like the shonen protag style character, who's also a mech writer, come into contact with his character, because his character's like very brash and very annoying because he's a shonen protag type. And one author is talking to his author and is like, why'd you make him like this? It's like, man, if I ever knew I would have met him in real life, he would have been so better written. I would have never written him like this at all. This is what the corporate asked for, man. I just did what they wanted, And I laugh so hard at that shit. But like as the series goes on, it gets super dark. It gets super rough, because these characters are having to come to terms with the fact that not only are they not real, but their world was just made for entertainment. And watching that, like, I want you to think of this. A lot of you here are creative. You draw, you make characters, you design characters, you make art, you make stories. If you had to meet the characters that you created, if you had to meet the characters from your stories, if you had to meet them and explain to them why you did what you did to them, how would you respond to that? How would you respond to making a hellish landscape? How would you respond to killing off a character's loved one? Like, a lot of you play D&D. Okay, so you're a rogue, so that obviously means your parents died in a horrific thing, and your entire objective of the rogue is to go and get revenge for your parents. If your D&D character had to fucking meet you and it came to you, was like, why did you kill mom and dad? How would you respond to that? How would you respond to being the creator of Batman and be like, why did you have to make Crime Alley happen? How would you respond to that? I love this in this series. It's like, I want y'all to really think about that. Like, I want to know, what would you do? What would you do? How would you respond to characters you've made? Did you give your character a happy life, or did you make them tormented? Did they get resolution, or did the things get worse? Like, I sit here and I think of, like, so many manga, and manga, manhwas, webcomics. Like, I think of so many different things I've read, and I sit there thinking to myself, like, man, I'd hate for their creations to meet them. Lord, would I? And I had to sit there and think about some of my own characters. It's like, how would I respond meeting some of my own characters, knowing the shit I've put them through? What would I do? It is a phenomenal anime series. Oh Lord, some of my Sith Lords would not be happy with me. I can imagine. So, as I think on this further, like, one of the things that, like, Dr. Boxcars would be trying to end me. Thankfully, he did not have great aim/attack rolls. With watching the series, it was hard as hell to actually find the series. So I'm going to tell you guys, like, you're going to, I can't tell you how to find it, but you're going to have to go find it. It's not, it is such an amazing series, and it's well talked about in many communities. But it's not available on any fucking streaming service anywhere. It is absolutely ridiculous trying to find it, but well worth it if you can. Also, I meant to read this earlier from comic. I started watching it, then I had to grab Dude to be like, I'm not wrong, right? Am I just not the right headspace for this? And then, well, as Dude said, it ruined anime for him for a while. So duly noted, don't watch Diabolic Lovers. Like, I'd heard about it from somebody a long while back saying, hey, go watch. Imagine their creations. Imagine their creations having to meet that. Yeah, it's just not legally available on any streaming service in the US. Yeah, I had to jump through some hoops to finally be able to watch it. But definitely worth it. Like, it is definitely worth it. If you can watch it, watch Recreators. It is a phenomenal story so far. I need to finish watching it about halfway through it. Ah. Jesus Christ, my back is screaming at me. Their creation would cast an episode of Jerry Springer. Lord fucking help me. But no, while watching that, I've been on, like, the deep dive of, like, finding, like, different like, horror medium, looking for horror anime, horror manga. Oh, Lord, one I found, I'd forgotten this existed. I'd forgotten completely this existed. I found a deep dive video explaining the entirety of Chaos Head. And I know to some of you that has probably awakened something deep in your brain that you forgot existed. But Lord help me. We have random guy who gets yeeted off a roof right here today. Come out, random guy. Audience. Chaos commences. And see, like, okay, so, like, I'm going to harp on this a little bit more. We were talking about King's Game earlier. You want to know something else that bothers me in King's Game, like, a ton? This also bothers me in another. It bothers me in both of these. Nobody ever reports anything about entire classrooms worth of students dying. They don't do so in King's Game. No one calls the police. Police don't question the fact that all these kids are dying in some weird ass fucking way in school. No one reports anything. No one says anything. No one freaks the fuck out. It's just contained to the classroom. Same thing with another. Nobody says anything. There's no police presence exploring into this shit. There's nobody really looking into how all these people are dying. Nobody's looking into what to do about this kind of shit. It happens in so many of these anime, and it drives me crazy. There are some that do this kind of stuff, but there's others just like, yeah, no, that's normal, or we just don't talk about it. Like, it bothers me so much in another. Like, not a single every year there's like, we're gonna ignore one student and treat them like they don't exist for the entirety of the fucking classroom. That they're not real. We're gonna treat them like they're not real. They're not real. They don't exist here. Nobody says anything about that, where that's obviously some weird ass fucking shit. Those anime, we could not afford for them to go to college anyway. Let's not worry about the off kids. Ah, so they went the Battle Royale approach. Battle Royale is one I still really enjoy the manga for. Who are we talking about again? I've been talking about horror anime. And how I love some of them and hate a lot of them. And how some that I used to love I can't watch anymore. There are some that just have not aged well. Like, one that I really like to tell people to go watch, but I have to always tell them to only watch the first season of it. Oh, fuck. What's it called? Aaron! You and me actually were watching this at the same time. What the fuck? Promised Neverland. That's the one. I loved Promised Neverland Season 1. And then Season 2 happened, and I was upset. Lord, was I upset. God, was I upset. It was fed up. Oh, I get it. So good about that Call of Cthulhu campaign where you play Dr. Boxcars. It went so gloriously off track that time when one of the other characters tried to sneak in and boom, shotgun. Oh, Jesus. Season 2 was a joke to how much they cut out. But that's just it. Okay, like, yeah, they cut out a metric ton. They cut out an absolute metric ton from that. You are correct. But the manga's not much better. Like, I went and read the manga because I had to see. But the manga from Promised Neverland is not much better once you get past where Season 1 ends. A lot of it just, there's so many holes. There are so many fucking holes. Another one that's disappointing was also made by the same people that made that anime. I talked about this anime a lot when it came out. I was watching it religiously. I was obsessed with everything to do with this anime. I was working on a video for this anime. I had to cancel my video on this anime because of how spectacularly bad it became. And this put me off on doing a lot of different videos because I'm like, it makes me gun shy on how well shit will age. Because like I was gonna come in singing its fucking praises, and then like it ooh. It is an anime called Wonder Egg Priority. So Promised Neverland was better than Sword Art Online. Most anime is better than Sword Art Online. Ugh. Wonder Egg Priority was the same anime studio that had worked on Promised Neverland, and it is beautiful. It is a beautiful anime, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, it is gorgeous to watch, and it has a very compelling hook to it. Like it grabs you and it locks you the fuck in. You are stuck. You must watch this now. Sadly, it starts to show cracks fairly early on. If you know, you know. But no, it starts to show cracks fairly early on. Especially like when you're getting to like what episode? I want to say it's like episode 8. Episode 8 was a fucking recap of the series to that point. It's a recap episode. This should be your immediate sign that things are in trouble. As well as like right before that, they give you fucking whiplash. Like you think it's going to go in one direction, where it's essentially the main characters in the series are a group of girls in the series that all had friends that wound up passing away by taking their own lives. And the reasoning for this was due to depression and due to the main characters missing warning signs that things were going bad. And the series is them going through and helping these characters basically move on and pass on. And if you do all the things and you meet all the demands and do all the quests and whatnot, you can possibly bring your person that left back. That is the promise they give you in the series initially, and it seems like that's that's very compelling. You get to hear about all these stories for all these characters and trying to help them. And then they completely drop this like halfway through. And this isn't a long anime. It's not. It's like your standard one season anime. And they drop this shit like halfway through and just like completely swing shit around, where the reason why the characters that died killed themselves was not because of actual depression, but depression caused by a synthetically made entity that is causing them to mentally do this. So it completely fucks its message halfway through and just goes to garbage real fast. I was so mad. This series had such amazing promise. I was talking about this shit fucking religiously. Good horror anime, talentless Nana. I wouldn't call Talentless Nana good, but I wouldn't call it bad. Like, I'd give it, like, I'd probably give it, like, a 6. It starts off insanely strong. It starts off great. But... Ow. Oh. Oh. That fucking hurt. Oh, my fucking God. My back seized up. Ow. Oh. Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh, I'm awake. I'm hella awake now. If I wasn't awake before, I'm definitely awake now. Jesus Christ. I'll definitely give that Talismana is far better than another anime I watched. You can find this one on Netflix still, I think. I wanted to enjoy this one because I enjoyed the manga. Now, this was another one that was a horror action series. I enjoyed the manga, but I enjoyed the manga because, like, it is cheesy. It's cheesy, it's kind of dumb. And it's called High Rise Invasion. The anime for this is so bad. Anime these days seem to be following the motto of, don't fuck up. We all know what happens when that motto is used. Well, see, I've watched a lot of great anime, which is also what makes going back and watching a lot of these older horror series so much more rough. Like, JJK is a horror anime, but it's an action horror, and I really like that one. I like that one a fuck ton. Dandadan, it's got some horror elements in it, but it's more of a shonen style anime. But I love that series. It's well written. The characters are well done and well written, and get lots of development. And they show the development all the way through. So, like, I really enthusiastically enjoy Dandadan. Let's see, what else have I watched recently? I gotta pull up my damn list on stuff that I've watched recently, because I've watched so many things. Night of the Living Cat is fucking hilarious and well worth a watch. I tell a lot of people watch it. Watch it knowing that it does not take itself seriously in the fucking slightest, and you will love everything about it. It's hilarious. I've watched Apothecary Night. Not horror, but a phenomenal, glorious fucking anime. I'm watching through Witch Hat Atelier. Gorgeous and fucking amazing. No, I'm not gonna watch the cat anime. You gotta watch the cat anime. I would definitely die in that anime. ReZero, phenomenal anime. Been loving every last bit of that one. We mentioned Digimon earlier. Digimon Beat Break is super good. Probably one of the better Digimon series to come out over the last few years. It's like there's so many of these things that I've watched that are like they've been having to they've been having to go through and step up their game for anime in the last like 10 years. So there's a lot of really good anime out now, which makes a lot of the anime that was considered good to now look very mediocre for a lot of different anime. Stuff like Elven Lied doesn't age well. You know, stuff like that. Stuff that like people were like, this was great, are now like, I don't know. ReZero next episode isn't coming out till August, so you got time to catch up. Awesome. But there'll be, I think I'm only 2 episodes off on that one. Vyran, fucking glorious anime that I need to watch season 2 for. So any plans to rebeat chapters 1 through 4 before chapter 5 next week? Okay, so I have replayed through through Deltarune repeatedly. We've done multiple playthroughs of Deltarune. I've done the thing. I've done the thing. I think I'm just going to jump into 5. We're going to skip replaying through chapters 1 through 4 and go straight into 5 for 2 reasons. One, I've already done chapters 1 and 2 multiple times. And I think going 1 through 4 that's fresh enough on people's minds that I could do chapter 5 and most people would still know what's going on. But for 2, the other reasoning is that I plan on doing the Weird Route run. So I'm going to do chapters 1 through 5 as the Weird Route, the Dark Route. Hey! What is up, Melanie? How are you? Okay, so like if you haven't watched Free Run's a phenomenal anime. Definitely worth your time. Like if you like fantasy anime, watch Free Run. Free Run is so good. I know everyone their grandmother says it, but they say it for a reason. It is good. It is so good. If you like dark anime, I suggest ReZero. ReZero is the only anime I've seen in the last 10 years to have moments to give me existential dread. Like to like legitimately while watching it have dread. So I would definitely suggest that one. For people that don't know, with ReZero, you have your main character, and he gets isekai'd into another world, into a fantasy style world. Yay, team! Da da da. You know the drill. It's gonna happen. The difference is that usually when you get a character that gets isekai'd into another world, they're overpowered elf and politics that lean far right. You need to really rewatch that. Or, like, actually watch it, because that is so off the mark. That is so off the mark. Go watch it. 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 That is so far off the mark. Like, damn, I've heard a hot take before, but that's, yeah, no. Man, that managed to like completely derail what I was. Where was I on this? Oh, with ReZero. You have your main character. He gets isekai'd into another world, but he doesn't get to be all powerful like what usually happens in an isekai anime. But he thinks he's going to be. He's like, oh, I got isekai'd because he's familiar with this kind of genre. He's like, I bet I have all these different powers. Da da da. Nope. Normal human boy. Normal human teenager. Nothing super special at all. And then, spoilers for the first episode, he dies because he has no superpowers. He has no special shit. He dies. We now figure out what his ability is from being isekai. He essentially got a checkpoint system. Problem with his checkpoint system is he remembers everything. Everything for his death. What happened, how he died, the pain of the death, and how bad it went. That's like super spoilers way down the way. No. Now, but yeah, no, he dies, and he comes back. He comes back basically at a checkpoint. It's in it, but they don't super explain it till later. It's in it, but it's one of those things that can be easily missed, because like he doesn't know that's exactly what that is. But anyway, yeah, no, he dies and comes back. We find out that, like, as he meets important points in time, his checkpoint updates. Now, what I like about this series is that as he's going through these horrific instances, as he dies, they don't just do this thing. Like, there are characters that either can't die in these things, or there are characters that die and come back. Right? They put that in a lot of these kind of isekai animes, fantasy anime. Right? Man, I have that whole series. I was gifted that whole series by a friend of mine back in, like, I want to say it was like 2009, 2010. I've only watched it once. It was all the way back then. I haven't watched it again since. Lord fucking help me. I forgot that existed. Fucking Nerva Daikon Brothers. I literally forgot that entire series fucking existed. But no, a friend of mine gave me all 3 DVDs. I watched it once. It's like, huh. But what I like about ReZero is when our character dies, as I told you, he remembers how he dies. So he does use this to his advantage to try to not die that way again, which is good. But there's also the fact that as these traumatic events happen to him, they take their mental toll on him. He has to deal with every ounce of trauma he suffers through this. It gets incredibly dark. And he doesn't die in friendly ways a lot of the time. Like, sometimes it's as simple as getting stabbed, other times it's a lot rougher. Like, Jesus Christ. Dub version of Ghost Stories is a product of his time and has aged like milk. So, either poison or cheese. Lord. I have watched through the English dub of Ghost Stories, I think on 4 different occasions. Each time because it's always somebody who hasn't seen it. It's always someone who hasn't seen it, and I always have to warn people. Like, it was weirdly uncomfortable for me back then. It's way worse now, but I still have people like, you have to see it. Like, it's almost a fucking rite of passage to watch through it at this point. So it's always like, I have to be like, look, this is fucked shit, but it does exist, and you're gonna hear about it. So, da-da-da. If you're easily offended, this is not going to be one you're going to like. If you're not easily offended, you're probably still not going to like it. Yes, I remember Mauled by Wolves, Cat Shut Up, Rabbits, good watch. Yeah? There is one moment in the series. I don't want to dive too far into it because it's like at the beginning of one of the more recent seasons. But I'll try to dance around it. I'll try to dance around it enough. There is actually I have talked about this before. They wind up coming across a character that has a mind control ability. And the instance of death for this, the first time he dies to this, shook me. Like, it caught me completely fucking off guard. Like, it's one of those things, like, as I'm watching it, I know stuff's wrong, but it does so well in something being wrong, but you can't tell exactly what until it's too late. So, like, things seem to, like, it's one of those things, like, things are going really well, and then all of a sudden, you have the realization of what's wrong at about the same time that everybody else does, including the character that it happens to. You need to watch to understand Death by Rabbits. Yes, you need to watch to understand Death by Rabbits. Like, that death is rough. But, this character with the mind control ability, what makes it so scary is that it's done in a way that basically works like subliminal hypnosis. It's a slow control. and it makes you feel like the entire way through it that everything is your idea. Up until you're dead. It is, holy Christ, that got me. And he gets to go through this more than once. And I was just like, no. It hits at the primal fear of autonomy. And it being taken away from you, but your autonomy is being taken away from you in a fashion that makes it seem like it's willing. And that is horrifying. There are even crazier things that happen after that. I'll just tell you, go watch ReZero. It's worth your time. Lord help me, it's worth your time. I know it's one of those that like people tell you to watch all the time, but trust me, go watch it. Go freaking see it. Shaman, that is season 4, right? That is the season I'm thinking about, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. There were contracts, okay? Buddy was exchanged. It happened. Yeah, if I remember correctly, that is season 4. And it's, God damn, is it good. But it's gonna hurt your feelings. It's not gonna hurt your feelings, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt to watch. But it is such a good watch. Ow. Oh, fuck. Back is still killing me. But at least I know it's still there. So let's see. What else is there that's really like? There's what else has been would be classified as good anime right now? I've already mentioned stuff like JJK, ReZero, Recreators, Freerun. Gachi Akida was really good. Its cosplay community is not. There are some problematic things throughout there, but the actual like story for that series is phenomenal. The art style's great. One that I really enjoyed, but I need to watch further into it. I'm only a couple episodes in, but one I've been enjoying, from what I've seen so far. Is that season 4? I can't remember which season it was. It's got to be either season 3 or season 4. Cowboy Bebop is actually aged fine and wine. And Cowboy Bebop is so fucking phenomenal. I rewatch through that at least once a year. And introduce people to it all the damn time. One that I liked a lot, yet again, I'm only a couple episodes into this one, is Sentenced to Be a Hero. That one is such, like, I like the premise of that one a lot. Because you have people that are heroes. They are, it's in a fantasy style world, they are heroes. No one that's a hero wants that title. You do not want to be a hero. Because if you are a hero because you did something bad. Your punishment is to be cursed to be a hero and to repent for your bad deeds by saving people, by fighting in wars, by saving people, by doing this, that, and the other. And you have access to all sorts of different things, but you are basically under the control of the government for due to whatever crimes you committed. It is so bad that you're not allowed to die. They bring you back if you die. So there's no escaping being the hero. You have to be the hero, and you're put in hellish situations for it. How bad anime that is, I should feel ashamed for watching this, but it's not so bad. It is good. I've seen a lot of those. Okay, so I have two. Lord have I. Also, just because this is another series from the Adult Swim time block that is fantastic, everyone should see it. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Absolutely, absolutely 100% agree. 100%. There's a lot of stuff from that time that like I can still go back and watch and enjoy though. Let's see, what else was there? I watched all of season 1 of Tower of God not that long ago, and I liked that one a lot. The ending for season 1 will make you... I have never seen an anime make you hate a character so much as that series will. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but go watch it. Because it will... Lord help me, it'll make you feel some kind of way. Another really good series that came out recently. I love the series. It's hard to get people to watch it at first, but trust me, if you can give it like an episode or two, just give it like 2 episodes. It's all you really need to do. You should be able to thoroughly enjoy it. I was obsessed with To Be Hero X. And my favorite part of that series is the animation. The animation in that series is fucking phenomenal. And the amount of different styles they managed to use throughout that series is just mind-blowing. Everyone needs to watch for it to go over. No! 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 If you like yourself at all, no, do not go watch that one. No. Lord help me. Shaman, even as a joke, you should feel ashamed of yourself. Bad. Bad, bad, bad. Lord help me. Lord help me. What? No. 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 Major Motoko Kusanagi is an icon. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, please don't sneeze. I don't want to sneeze again. I really don't. That last experience sucked. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. We're fine. So yeah, no, there have been some really good anime over the last 10 years. We've gotten some really good stories. Got a lot of bad, but we've gotten way more good than bad, in my personal opinion. Now, if you want one that is beautiful, that will also leave you intrigued the entire way through, and everyone I have talked to about this one has been obsessed with it and is screaming for more to come out for it, Witch Hat Atelier is one that is is a series you absolutely cannot miss. Do not sleep on this series. Seen a lot of what even is this and why is it amusing me so much? Oh, same. I've actually had quite a few anime suggested to me by you guys over the past few years. There's one series that if you haven't watched it yet, you are doing yourself like the greatest fucking disservice you could ever do yourself if you like anime. Even if you don't like anime, I know people that love this. My mom loves this series, which my mom hasn't enjoyed a lot of new anime in a while. She likes Demon Slayer, this one that I'm about to mention, and what was the other recent one she watched? And she likes JJK. But one I tell everyone they have to watch. You need to see it. It is a must. Is Apothecary Diaries. I was suggested this by, at first, Dude, and then later Vasco. And I finally gave it a shot about halfway through season 1's run. I started watching that one. And I was addicted to that series. Mizu and I both. We powered through everything that was in season 1 at the time in like the span of like 2 days. And we're upset when we got to the end and we're having to watch it week to week. That is a series that, like, as soon as it goes live, we watch every episode for it. I have screamed at everyone to watch that series. I don't even want to dive into that one. You need to just go watch it. Just go see it. It's a beautiful story. It is super fucking well written. It is glorious fucking animation. Like, Jesus Christ. Can I confirm he screams at everyone to watch it? I do! It's like, people are like, I want a good anime to watch. Go watch Apothecary Diaries. I got my mom to watch Apothecary Diaries. My mom fucking loved that series. Go watch Apothecary Diaries. Absolutely go watch Apothecary Diaries. If you haven't seen it yet, fuck, stop watching me, go watch it. I don't care. I know I'm supposed to, like, watch every minute of me. You can't. No, fuck it. Go watch that. How's it going, Emperor? How are you? Had to yell at you so much to watch that one. It only took like 2 weeks worth of yelling at me, but yeah, no, you did. I was on a horror kick at that time, and it was not spooky. And Mizu and I both were on a massive horror kick at that time. So, like, neither of us, like, really had an interest of watching it. And then we watched it. And then we kicked ourselves for waiting so long to fucking watch it. We watched that, and we watched Vinland Saga, like, right after it. And both those were fucking phenomenal. But Apothecary is just, like, the best. Can't wait for new Star Fox next week. I want to play it so fucking bad, but I'll probably have to wait a little while on it. My first thing I'm going to be playing next week, the first new thing I'm going to be playing is going to be Deltarune Chapter 5. Like 2 months. No, I haven't played the demo because I wanted to just go into it straight off rip. I don't play demos for a lot of games, and the reasoning why is because I never know how long the demo's going to be. And if I play it for a game that I know I'm going to wind up streaming anyway, I want to play it on stream, but I don't like playing a thing on stream and it being like 30 minutes to an hour long, and that's all I have to play with. So I usually avoid a lot of demos for games. I'm about to change that, because I find out I miss out on a lot by doing that, so we're about to change that, but that's why I haven't done that for so long. But yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I got yelled at to watch it, go watch it. But I have one that everyone gets yelled at to watch, and I did not watch the series for years. When I started watching the series, like, season 5 of it had already started coming out. And I'm going to say it, everyone's going to get so mad at me. Everyone's going to get so mad at me because I know you've all been yelled at to go watch this. I know only half of you probably have. But I've watched through all of it like 3 times now. Go watch JoJo's. I know I'm going to get shit. No one likes to hear. You have to go watch JoJo's because, like, the JoJo's fandom is obnoxious in telling you why you need to go fucking watch it. But I watched it, and it's fucking good. It's so good. I'm mad at how good it is. Like, the only thing I'll say about JoJo's that, like, wasn't fun is its first season. Its first season is very slow. Its first season is very slow. It's very, you can take it or leave it. you could technically could skip the first season. I know a lot of people that do. You could technically skip it and start at the later season. If you watch the first season, which is basically kind of like a prequel to everything that's going to fucking happen, you get a lot of stuff. You get a lot of information, and a lot of stuff makes a lot more sense. A lot of it makes a lot of the series, like, you get payoff for watching that first season. But it's technically the part that, like, it doesn't matter as much. But it's so good, and it stays good for a very long time. If you like battle anime, like, at all, what's up, Nick? How you doing? If you like battle anime at all, I'll tell you have to go see it. Go watch it. Go see it. It's worth the watch. And I hate that I have to be the guy that does that, because I hated when people used to tell me to go watch JoJo. I got told to watch JoJo all the time. Especially when I was working at GameStop. It was like, people were like, you like anime? Have you watched JoJo's? I was like, no, I haven't. You're not a real fan of anime. I get so pissed off, and I don't believe that. If you haven't watched JoJo's, fuck it. Like, then, like, that's just whatever. Like, you still plenty fan of anime in general. Like, just go enjoy anime. But I will say you are missing out. It is a good story. But I got so ticked off always hearing every fucking day, have you watched JoJo's yet? No, I haven't watched JoJo's. Go watch JoJo's. I don't want to watch JoJo's. You need to watch JoJo's. I really don't want to watch this. I wound up watching it only because it was during... started watching it in 2020, and I watched it because I was sick. I had caught COVID, and it was really rough for me. I was basically living on my couch, trying to make sure I didn't spread it to my significant other. And I wound up watching, like, a lot of stuff during that time frame that I didn't like isekai anime back then, like, at all. So during this time frame, I gave a lot of shit a chance because of one reason. I watched the first season of The Boys and watched till the point where I was caught up. And it was so out of left field and out of pocket that I said, fuck it, I'm gonna watch other weird shit that's out of left field and out of pocket. So, like, I watched... It was during this time, for me being sick with COVID is what introduced me to the time I got reincarnated as a slime, Konosuba, I'm a spider, so what? Overlord, that's where I watched ReZero for the first time. Like, that's where I started watching that one. Have a wonderful night, dude. You don't watch insert popular mainstream anime. You're not a real fan. Is one of the takes of all of them, right? Like, that's a take, all right. See, I will never be the type that, like, says that to people. If you don't watch this, you're not this. I will be the person to tell you that if you're not watching something, I feel you're missing out on an experience because of the experience I had with it. I will tell you, you're missing out. I will definitely tell you you're missing out on something if you're not watching something that I enjoyed and I suggest to you. But I'm never going to be the person who's like, oh, well, you're a fake fan, or oh, you're not a real fan of anime, or da-da-da. Like, I always hate that kind of thing. I see it happen, well, not as much anymore, but you see it a lot happen a lot at comic shops, as well as anime conventions, where you'd see somebody walking around with, like, a certain fandom shirt, or in a certain cosplay, or something, and you get, like, that one fucking basement nerd that decides, I'm going to quiz you on how much of a fan you really are. Like, I had a friend who went to a card shop wearing a Green Lantern shirt, and their immediate things, like, it was one of my female friends who was there wearing a Green Lantern shirt, and guy whips around and is like, "Oh, you're a Green Lantern fan? Well, recite the Green Lantern's oath. Yeah. And then tell me the different colors of the lantern rings." I'm like, bitch, just go somewhere else. Lord help me. That was like the dumbest thing I'd heard. Oh Lord, not the quizzes. I've run into that too often, even in this day and age. It is so stupid. It is so stupid. I still see it happen. I don't see it happen anywhere near as much as I used to, but I still see it happen. And it's always the fucking basement dweller. Like I hate to sit there and poke that stereotype. But that stereotype is so fucking fucking real. You can tell they haven't taken a shower in fucking forever. They haven't taken a shower. Their clothes are all fucking disheveled. They're fucking wearing nerd shit everywhere. And you know if they're at a fucking anime convention, they're the fucker carrying the body pillow. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, stop. It is the dumbest thing ever. And also, like, I'll see them, like, quiz them on something. And it'll be something that I'm also a fan of. And I won't know the fucking answer. They don't ask me word one on it, but I won't fucking know the answer. But they're asking somebody because they think, oh, you don't belong here. Lord. Okay, so I've also dived heavily back into playing card games. Card games have, like, always been a massive hobby of mine. But I've dived pretty heavy back into playing card games. And I'm not just playing one, I'm playing multiple card games. Which is kind of bad. Like, I play Commander Magic, I play Star Wars Unlimited some, I still play Digimon, and I went back to playing Pokemon. I have 3 fully built decks in Pokemon right now, so I can play, Mizu can play, and I have a backup for somebody else to come with us and play. You'll see it a lot in the trading card communities. You don't see it as much in Magic. You see weird, creepy dudes in Magic, but you don't. But in a lot of the card games, you'll see when they're going to actually play, when they're going to actually fucking play the game, you'll see people trying to run people away, basically. I've seen it in Pokemon. I've seen it a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! Seen it a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you'll have someone who shows up, and it's usually a girl shows up to the shop, and, like, look, I'll admit it, girls are rare in card games. Like, in actually playing the card games, they're rare. You don't see them a lot in any shop I've ever been in. They're going to be outnumbered by a bunch of weird guys. That's always been the thing that's always happened with it. Now, I see any new player walk up for a card game, I'm excited we have a new player, because the more players we have, the more support we get for the game. I don't care who you are, I don't care where you came from, as long as you have a not sucky personality and you want to play, I'm excited for you to be there. Let's throw down. Go for it. You'll see in a lot of instances of a lot of these card games, like you'll get, it happens a lot with women that come into the card games, and where they will either actively go through and creep out the girl that's there, or they'll condescend to them thinking, oh, well, this is this, and we've been doing this for so long, and you're probably not that good because you're a girl. I'm like, that's the dumbest shit ever. It's not as bad in Pokemon, but my most recent event of seeing it happened in Pokemon. Which was mind-blowing to me that happened. I laughed because she kicked his fucking ass and he deserved it. But we haven't seen her come back to the shop since then. Because of this shit. You'll love this story. I had one time at a local comic shop, sarcasm. I was there. So I was there on Free Comic Book Day. I got a gaming shirt on. Owner of the shop looks at me while I'm at the register, looks me dead in my eyes and says to my face, "There's no such thing as a good girl gamer." You can probably guess how things went for him. Unrelated, the shop is no longer busy. Jesus Christ! Went to Target and the Pokemon alley wasn't ravaged. Really? Hey, what's up, Mr. Third Eye? It's been a while. How have you been? I hope you are well. I hope life has found you well, my friend. Welcome. But yeah, no, like I see it a lot. You don't see it as much in Magic. I see a lot, like I see a lot more women playing Magic than I do a lot of other games. My sister plays Magic religiously. And the community is a little more openly inviting to everybody for Magic. You still get the weird, creepy people in Magic, but not as much. The best card game I've seen for like anyone and everyone playing though is Wakanda, the Disney card game. That had the like community wise, as far as like actually going to shops and running into people. I don't know about the online community. I kind of stay off the online community, but the in-person community for Wakanda was always like the best for inclusion. No matter where you're from, no matter what your rhyme or reason or creed is, no matter what your gender is, it didn't matter. Everyone's just like, fuck it, shuffle up, let's play. So like that's what I openly suggest to a lot of people, just because like lots of like, if you want a welcoming community to play cards, that's like the one. And another one that like really shocks me for that is actually Gundam. Gundam has a very diverse group of people at every shop I go to. Like Gundam's great for that. And I know Naruto is getting a new card game in 2027. Did you know it was actually leaked by a baseball team? It was leaked by the New York Yankees by accident, and nobody knew, because nobody that plays Bandai card games watches fucking baseball. Yes, it's been a good while, my friend. Life is beautiful, man. Just living life. What about yourself? I'm fantastic. Since it's been a while, I got some life updates. One, I'm a pumpkin now. But for two, let's see. What all do I have for updates? It's like, I'm pumpkin now. We have a cat now. We have another bird now. I got married. Mizu and I got married. I was getting to that. I was going to say that you got to save the best for last. I got married on Halloween, no less, last year. So a lot has happened, but it's all been good. And I think that's like the major updates. Wonderful. Congratulations. Thank you. Only downside right now is I'm in severe back pain right now. It has been not great. You can already smell scalpers going after the Naruto cards. I don't think it'll be that much of a problem. At least not for Naruto. Oh, and we got part downstream loots. Yes, I forgot about that one. But yes, that was the thing too. We've been doing fairly well. Okay, so like I don't see it being that much of a problem with One Piece, because even with there being scalpers, or with Naruto, even though there are scalpers in One Piece, Bandai does a pretty good job of still making sure people can get product for One Piece in every other card game. When they see something getting scalped too much, they push production, and they do a lot better job than a lot of other companies do. So I don't think Naruto will have the major scalp problem. Wait, you didn't know, Melanie, that we got married? Or are you talking about the partner thing? Both are great things. But I could have sworn you knew about about us getting married. I could have sworn I told you that last time we ran into you. But yeah, we're very happy. Probably the happiest I've ever been. Gonna be completely real. Wait, Patch got married? When was I going to be notified? Yeah, it's not like you were at my wedding, Shaman. If it's a partner thing, that happened recently. Oh yeah, Power got announced for cards a long while back. There is a card game. It's like, let's see, we got a Naruto card game coming out. They announced a Power World card game. I'm a little worried about Power World, not from a scalping perspective, but more so because of who's the company that's making it, which is Bushy Road, the same people that make Vanguard and Vice Schwartz. So they don't have the best track record of listening to their player base. So I don't know how well that's going to do. I helped for the partner because of my clipping. Yes, you did. And I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, we got partner, and that was super exciting. Like, I'm still like over the moon over that shit. That has honestly made life a lot easier thanks to you guys, so I greatly appreciate that. Y'all don't fucking understand. Lord help me. That's why I'm working so hard to get this other shit put out for you guys to work with it. And I don't like letting perfectionist brain kick in. I try to fight that a lot, but I've got perfectionist brain coming in hard for this because like I want this to be something big that shows my appreciation. It got slowed down this week because of fucking back pain, but I'm going to try to release it by Tuesday of this coming week. Another card game. There are two other card games that got announced. One is Chaotic is getting a redo on its card game, and a lot of people are flipping shit about that one. Like a lot of people losing their minds on that one. I'm a little excited about that one because of nostalgia, but it was okay. It was an okay card game. They'll have to change a lot for that to fit in the current landscape and to do well in this current landscape. The card game I'm most excited for, and I'm actually working on something right now to do with it. And possibly there will be content for it. I don't know. I keep working on a thing for it, but like I keep getting frustrated with it because my editing skills are piss poor. The card game I'm most excited for coming out, it comes out like late September, early October. It's a card game called Hellbreak. And it's a horror-based card game. It's a horror-based card game that has very strong horror IPs attached to it. We're talking, of course, we got the Universal Monsters collab, which is going to be like Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, the Mummy, stuff like that. But we also have shit like Jaws confirmed for this. The creatures from what the fuck is it? What's the horror movie? The one where you can't make a noise. They look kind of like a Demogorgon, but they're not. Silent Place. That's it. Silent Place. A Quiet Place. That's it. A Quiet Place. That's it. As well as, there's confirmation of us getting, like, Halloween added to it. Like, Michael Myers added to it. Stuff like that. So, like, these are big for me. That is a big thing. And the card game itself looks like it has a lot of the mechanics that I enjoy in games like Star Wars, Magic, and even some aspects of if you ever played Flesh and Blood, some aspects of Flesh and Blood in there as well. Which, with a name like that, it's kind of fitting. Nintendo needs to start making a card game from Splatoon. I can already see it. Well, if they were to make a card game based on the Table Turf card game, the issue with making the Table Turf card game is that you'd have to have the cards, and then you would have to have after the cards, you'd have to have a board for the mat. The Table Turf would be better as a deck builder game instead of a trading card game. it'd work a lot better as a deck builder. Because you'd also have to have tiles to place on the board to represent your ink coverage with the cards. It would work very similarly to like Dungeon Dice Monsters did back in the day. And that's how that would have to play out. Which, Lord, I fucking played the shit out of Dungeon Dice Monsters as a teenager. I still have a complete set of Series 1 for that. Love that series. But with how simplistic the game is, as well as the amount of things it would need for setting it up on a table, I can't see that one being a trading card game or even a collectible card game. It would have to be built like a either a deck builder game or just a tabletop game in general, which most deck builder games are technically tabletop games. But that's how they'd have to set that up if they want to do it. I would be all about it. I'd buy it. I'd play it, because I was obsessed with Table Turf. I still hop on my Switch sometimes and play it. But yeah, no, like, on the worry of Naruto, I don't, for one, Naruto doesn't have the same pull that One Piece does. It doesn't have the same fan pull that One Piece does. So I'm not as worried about scalpers. As well as the fact of the matter is they have my brain stopped working. They have Bandai backing them. And Bandai is at least pretty good on releasing cards and fighting scalpers for most of their games. The only game that they're not good on fighting scalpers on is Union Arena. Union Arena is such a pain in the ass to get popular IPs for. Don't even get me started on trying to find anything for solo leveling. Because I play all the Bandai card games. Well, nope, that's a lie. I don't, because I don't play the DBZ ones. But I play the others. But yeah, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal with it. But I have bigger concerns with Naruto being the next game coming out. Is, for one, Bandai's got a lot of card games under its belt right now. And every one of the card games has some kind of problem. And it's not like, you know, like there's always balancing issues in games. Did I go offline for a second? My thing on YouTube, like, yeeted itself for a minute there. A little bit. It's like, OBS is like, everything's still running fine. I have no drop frames, no nothing. But all of a sudden, like, YouTube, like, shit itself. Like, YouTube lost its shit there for a minute. Twitch has been fine for me, but YouTube buffered. Okay. I was like, oh no! But each one of the Bandai games has, like, a massive problem somewhere. With One Piece, their biggest problem that I know of right now, because I play the game, but I'm not super in the game for it. I have a deck built, and I've played enough to understand the game. But, like, I haven't, like, deep dived into that one. With One Piece, it does seem to be supply issues, seems to be an issue with them a lot. But it's worse for Union Arena. Union Arena has way more issue with, for one, Union Arena has two massive issues. The first issue is supply, because a lot of sets get scalped. The other issue is, though, a lot of shops don't want to carry it, because only the popular IPs sell. Non-popular IPs wind up sitting on their shelves forever. And they really, like, for people that don't know what Union Arena is a card game where you only build decks based on the IPs that you like. They release a set that's dedicated to a specific IP. Like think of like Yu Yu Hakusho, Full Metal Alchemist, One Punch Man. They'll release an entire set around that around that series, and that's all you have to buy if you want to build a deck, and it should be competitive all the way through, from fighting against old stuff, fighting against new stuff. It should just work, right? That's how that game is modeled. There are some franchises that do a little better than others as far as playability is concerned, but for the most part, that's how it works. The two issues with this are, one, supply for popular series, stuff like solo leveling is almost impossible to get your hands on. It's insanely difficult. Past that, the other issue it fucking releases a set every month. There's a new IP, a new set. So if you're trying to play everything, or at least learn how to fight everything, there's a new set out that you have to deal with every single month, without fail. That can be a headache, and it gives a lot of players right now with that game have fatigue from there just being too much. Way too much. Digimon's biggest weakness right now is power creep. They're trying to balance it, and we can see that they're trying to balance it. They're trying to fix it some. But power creep has been an issue with Digimon for a very long time. When they start releasing new stuff for new sets, new deck comes out, gets built, and a lot of old decks just dis-a-fucking-peer. And you're not going to see it again. You're not going to see the old cards. You're not going to see the old set. It's just like, that's it. No one's going to use it because it's not viable to play. And if you try to play it against anybody that's even moderately competitive, and it has anything even moderately new, and you have a deck that's like from a year ago, it will not stand in the fight. It can be really rough sometimes for Digimon because power creep happens so often. Have a wonderful night, Nettie. Take care. Pleasant nightmares to you. That's been my biggest issue with Digimon is keeping up in Digimon. Some decks will stay around for a while, and other decks like, well, new set came out, killed the old deck, it's gone. It's happened a lot with stuff that I like to play with. And a lot of players complain about it fairly frequently. Like it's been an issue with them. Let's see, what else is there card game wise for Gundam? Gundam's biggest issue is balance. Gundam has a power balance issue like no other. Blue in Gundam has been a nightmare to deal with since it started. And even with putting in like a ban list and restricted list, it's still having trouble. So a lot of people are wondering, will the new card game that got announced, which is Naruto, how will it handle these problems? And we just don't know yet. I'm hoping it does well, even though I know personally myself, I'm probably not going to play it. It'll be one of those things I might wind up with a deck, like I might wind up with a starter deck with, so I can understand what it is, because I just love card games in general, but I don't see myself buying, like, tons of packs or buying singles to make the best deck that I can. I don't see that being one of those. It'll be something like, if I have a friend that plays it, I'll have a starter deck so I can play with them. Kind of type deal. If that. I'm kind of surprised of all things that they chose to do. They chose to do Naruto. Will the new card rule please stand up? I'm wondering how it's going to stand up against everything else, because like out of all the Gundam card games, there are games that like you would expect to do better that don't. Like Union Arena, it does well whenever a new IP drops that's popular, and then like it disappears and doesn't come back till another like massively popular IP pops into the fray. I have never seen anybody play the Dragon Ball card game. And there's two of them. There's Fusion and there's another one. I can't remember what the other one is. But I've seen nobody play either of those at all. I've never been in a shop and seen a group of people playing that. So they have two games that are kind of and then we've got Digimon, which has been going strong for a while. It's still going strong, but it's having power creep issues. We have Gundam, which is picking up momentum, but is now hitting the roadblock of we need something to deal with the decks that just haven't ever been touched or toppled. And then there's One Piece. And One Piece I don't know enough to talk about. I'm going to be completely honest. I just don't know enough to talk about it. Not from a card game's point of view. I do know that it did have a massive scalping problem that seems to be doing better, but it's still not great. And Bandai has two games dropping soon. One being, of course, the Naruto card game we're talking about, but they also have a figure game coming out in October. Which is the entire reason why I started the card game, was because I heard that in some cases there are interactions between the two. And I want the figure game like nobody's business. Like, I want that so fucking bad. And showing it to Mizu wants it too. So like that's gonna hurt us when that comes out. I already have a couple of the promotional minis that they've given out with different card sets for that, and they're gorgeous. But yeah, so I don't know how Naruto's going to do, because for one, like, One Piece came out at a perfect time where they're doing a lot with One Piece, and One Piece keeps getting, like, you've got the new episodes of One Piece always coming out, you've got the live action, like, One Piece is always, like, in the cultural zeitgeist right now. So the card game does really well. It's getting new players all the time, this, that, and the other. Naruto's been very hit and miss the last few years because all we've got with it recently has been Boruto, and that was not well received. It's still, like, I still hear people just not liking that series, and a lot of people quit Naruto after Shippuden ended. Like, they didn't jump into Boruto. So with it not being in the public eye all the time anymore, and this, that, and the other, I don't see it doing exceptionally well. But I also was worried about Digimon when Digimon came out, and Digimon has been great, so maybe. But no, well, card games have been played. The one that, like, gets me the most recently has been Pokemon, because, like, I keep running into collectors of Pokemon and not players. Like, I run into players during, like, play-specific days, but, like, I'll be at Walmart looking at Pokemon cards, or I'll be at Target looking at Pokemon cards, or I'll even be in some of the local shops on days when tournaments aren't being held looking at Pokemon cards, because I like to play the game. And I'll always run into somebody who's either complaining that they can't get something, you know, like sometimes a scalper, sometimes actual collectors, and this, that, and the other, or they'll see a starter deck and they're kind of confused about the starter deck, and this, that, and the other, and I'll pipe in with some kind of information because they will have said something to me. I'll usually pop in about something about the card game itself, and they're like, "Wait, you play that?" I was like, "Yes." It's like, I didn't know people actually played it. I'm like, motherfucker, it's a card game. It has text to it has text to play. It has obvious text to play. There are starter decks for this. Of course, people play this. What do you mean you're surprised people play this? I didn't know anyone played. I get that more often than anything else. So, like, you actually play that? Yes, I do. It's fun. Lord help me. And it's like, oh, I only collect, or oh, I only sell them, and like the ones that only sell them, like, really bother me. Sadly, it's not on motorcycles though. What I laugh about is in Japan when you buy cards, there are like if you buy cards from like any like official vendor for Pokemon, they have for one heavy restrictions on what you can buy. They're doing the same thing that Target's doing, where they remove packaging, like plastic wrap and stuff, to discourage resellers. And in Japan, they'll give you a fucking quiz, apparently. Now, like, I haven't seen the validity of this, but I've been hearing it go around that in Japan, they'll fucking give you a quiz to, like, see if you're someone who actually fucking cares about Pokemon. And that's, like, a newly implemented thing. I'm going to look into the validity of that, because I saw it in, like, a couple of videos today. I was like, well, that's trippy. And I've seen a couple people, like, parody that with stuff like Target and whatnot. It's like, okay, you're really a fan? Tell me your favorite Gen 7 Pokemon. And they can't fucking answer, you know, that kind of shit. Let me see here. Let me... Let's see. Okay, yeah. To combat scalpers, Japanese retailers like require customers to pass a 15-question Pokemon lore quiz to purchase high-demand sets. Buyers must prove they are actually fans, as scalpers often fail without extensive Pokemon knowledge. The test, customers answer 15 Pokemon-related questions under staff supervision, preventing internet lookups. The quiz is different every time per person. The goal is to screen out resellers who don't know the franchise and ensure limited products go to dedicated fans and collectors. Community reception. Opinions on the strategy vary. While some fans praise the gatekeeping, others debate the fairness, since casual fans or parents buying for kids might struggle with obscure trivia. Additional Japanese anti-scalping measures. Due to rising demand and crimes involving TCG products, stores across Japan have implemented several other strict buying rules. So I could make those quizzes, because I'd be rude and make them difficult AF. Oh, I would too. We'd go back to like the quizzes. We'd go back to like the quizzes that we used to do during Pokemon panels, where it's like, okay, so which Pokemon's identification number also like matches like its was it its height or its weight? You know, like questions like that. Like I would throw questions out there that were like rude as fuck. Name the first Pokemon and then give the multiple choice answer for it. Get the concern when it comes to purchase. See, I do too for that. So the additional requirements they have, there are apparently ID requirements. Many stores require a Japanese driver's license or my number, tax ID, to ensure buyers are local residents. Packaging defacements. Retailers cut or deface card box packaging with not for resale stamps to kill the secondary graded market value. Unsealed boxes. Some locations require buyers to remove the plastic seal from booster boxes in store or open packs immediately at the counter. Purchase limits. Strict limits such as 1 box, 30 packs per customer are heavily enforced. If you're preparing to buy Pokemon cards in Japan, I can... that's telling me ways I can get Pokemon packs in Japan. That's evil. Like, I love that question, and I've asked that question to lots of people because it's a fun question. Because I like to ask that question, and I love to ask that question to people that don't know the answer, because then I get to explain the answer, or I get to have that moment where it's like, okay, so like, what's the first Pokemon? And you can tell a lot about a person by their answer. For people that don't know what this question actually is, it's supposed to be a multiple choice question of what is the first Pokemon, which would be the multiple choice answer for this is A, Bulbasaur, B, Mew, C. Rhydon, or D. Arceus? Quick. Which one of those is the first Pokemon? I'm curious to see how people answer this. Because it is my favorite question to ask from Pokemon. I actually asked my audience this question at a convention. I was at a convention. I was running a Pokemon panel, and I asked this question to the audience. And I loved the answers I got for this. I had one person actually understand the assignment for the question. Another fun question. Does Magikarp only learn one move? That depends on the game. It's Bulbasaur! Mike Tyson. I would give y'all a second. It's Jigglypuff. Steve from above. Lord help me. I want to see if anybody else wants to throw out an answer. I like the drawing gave an answer. I like the drawing actually gave an answer. Because then now we get to have some fun with this. Okay. So, the true answer... My answer is needs more context, which is exactly why I called that question evil. Honestly, yeah, it does. So the answer to that question is actually all of the above is the correct answer. No matter which one of those that you answer with is correct. So let me explain. Bulbasaur is the correct answer because Bulbasaur is the first Pokemon in the Pokedex. How's it going, Dry? So Bulbasaur is the correct answer for that meat. He is the first Pokemon in the Pokedex. He is one of the first Pokemon you're introduced to, and he is number 1 in the National Dex as well as the Kanto Dex. So, that answer is correct. But Mew is also correct. Why is Mew correct? Mew is correct because Mew is the DNA Pokemon. Mew is stated to be the starting point of DNA for all Pokemon. All Pokemon basically spawn off of Mew. Basically, they spawn off of that DNA. Mew used to be a plentiful Pokemon that was everywhere. Just as it adapted to its environments, it slowly became these Pokemon. It is also why this Pokemon has access to every TM, no matter what, and why this Pokemon is one of only 2 Pokemon to naturally have the attack transform. Because it can transform to anything it wants to. So that's where Mew is correct. What would you call Mew's grandpa? Well, if we get really technical, Mew's grandpa is actually going to be the answer to the last question. We're getting to that one. A Mewbot. Oh my god. So, the third answer and why it's correct is Rhydon. Why is Rhydon correct for being the first Pokemon? Rhydon is the very first Pokemon that was ever drawn and created. Rhydon was the original first created Pokemon. It's the first Pokemon we have art for. It looks a lot different today than it used to look back then, it being a lot more cartoony looking and a lot smaller, being about the size of our protagonist in Pokemon Red and Blue. But Rhydon was the very first Pokemon that was ever made. A dinosaur with a drill on its face. So yeah, that's where he's the first Pokemon. He's the first one that was designed. He was the initial concept. And then the last one, and why it's correct, is Arceus. Arceus is the god of all Pokemon. Arceus in lore existed before everything else. Originally, it was just an egg in the void, and when that egg hatched, what came forth from it was Arceus. I think that'd be technically concept art if it's different from source games. It looks a lot like what you see in Red and Blue, and it is confirmed to be right on. It's very close to what it is in Red and Blue. Like original, like, yeah, technically it's, well, red and green in Japan. Because our blue version and red versions are actually very different from their initial releases. Let's see. He looks different, but you can definitely tell who he is. I need to get an image I can actually utilize. There we go. Beep. This is the first instance of Rhydon. But he is Rhydon. He is confirmed to be that. So, ta-da! The first Pokemon. And then we have Arceus. Arceus is the creation of the Pokemon universe. Originally, the universe didn't exist. All that existed was an egg floating in a void. The egg hatches, and from it springs forth Arceus, and Arceus creates everything. He starts off with the creation trio of Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina. Then he makes the spirits of mind, body, and soul, which are Uxie, Zelf, and Misprit. And then he makes the gods of land, air, and sea, which are Rayquaza, Kyogre, and Groudon. And then he makes Regigigas and the Regis as protectors, as well as Regigigas to move the continents, and then makes Mew to basically populate the world and to make Pokemon, basically. And that's how the story goes. Thus, leading back to Mew being the correct answer for first Pokemon. Mew's the prototype of Pokemon, basically via its DNA. So yeah, with that question, there is not a wrong answer. They all technically work. Ta-da! If you can't tell, like, even though I don't do a lot of Pokemon stuff on this channel, Pokemon was definitely, like, the biggest part of my life for a very, very fucking long time. And it's why it never fully goes away for me. And why, occasionally, I stream stuff Pokemon related. There was a long time where I thought about just being a Pokemon channel. We were almost a Pokemon channel as our starting point. But I like playing scary shit. Patch likes Pokemon? Nerd! Ow. Ah. Lord, that hurts. Okay. But yeah, no, like... So, fun fact, since we're on the topic of Pokemon, Pokemon was a big part of my life for several reasons. One, I was a kid in the 90s and the 2000s, so Pokemon was fucking everywhere. I was at the start of the Pokemon craze, and was in the right age demographic for Pokemon during the start of the Pokemon craze. So, of course, there was that, and everybody I knew under the sun was massively into Pokemon. I made a lot of friends due to Pokemon back then. But Pokemon wound up carrying on a bigger part in my life when I became a teenager. During the eras of Ruby and Sapphire and Diamond and Pearl, Pokemon became far less popular stateside. It was still popular, but it was like had nowhere near the popularity it did at the start or that it does now. It had slowed dramatically. And if you were a kid who was turning into a teenager, you were the nerd. You were being called a nerd. You were being made fun of, poked at, this, that, and the other, because Pokemon was no longer the cool thing. Other things had happened, other shit had come out, blah blah blah. There was other things to be interested in. But I stuck with Pokemon. And of course, I've stuck with other new popular nerd-based things like Yu-Gi-Oh! And other shit like that. But Pokemon always stuck around for me. Where Pokemon became a bigger deal for me, though, was actually because of my siblings. About the time I started driving and became a teenager... Go ahead and nuke that. Nuke what? Did I miss something? Held message. Thing decided to shit itself. As I knew it would eventually. As soon as I fix that. And we're back. Wrong screen. We're back. Fell market is crashing. We're losing Apple stock. Lord help me. But yeah, no, none of that. We don't need any of that here. Nope, not doing it. But yeah, no, where Pokemon became a big deal for me was actually because of my siblings. When I was a teenager, we were going through some rough shit, and we didn't always have the best home life, but also like just we lived in a rougher part of town. A lot of bullshit happened all the time. So, as a way to basically keep my siblings occupied while my family was at work, I would take my siblings to the local card shop, and I taught them how to play the Pokemon card game. And at this point in time, the Pokemon card game had to hit a kind of dying point. None of the shops in our area were regularly playing it. They would still sell packs to collectors and whatnot, but it wasn't a very active thing at the time. People had moved on to other card games. This was during a massive card game boom where Magic had gotten really big. Yu-Gi-Oh was the main card game that a lot of shops were focusing on, and anything that had an IP had a card game. We're talking Mega Man had a card game, Fullmetal Alchemist had a card game, Dot Hack, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha. If it had an anime, or if even if it had a cartoon, there was a card game for it. I mean, there's Scooby-Doo had a card game. There were millions of card games. So Pokemon had kind of hit the back burner for a while, but I still thoroughly enjoyed the game. So I showed up, was teaching my siblings how to play, and as I was doing this, there were a lot of people who'd been playing other card games that had maybe started with Pokemon, either through collecting it or playing it, that started watching us play and started joining us. And I wound up accidentally becoming a babysitter at our card shop because a lot of these people that play these other card games had younger siblings, so they would introduce them to Pokemon with me teaching people how to play. Now some of them would come over and play as well, but a lot of times I'd wind up like taking care of everybody's younger sibling, teaching them how to play Pokemon. Then as things evolved, about the time the Diamond and Pearl sets came out, when we had the level X cards came out, Pokemon took off again. At least for our area, Pokemon took off again because we had like the group that had been playing with me, and a lot of other people started seeing the new cards and the new mechanics they were adding, and this, that, and the other. So a lot of people started joining. So I wound up becoming like the teacher of Pokemon to like everybody. This is how I wound up becoming a judge for the card game for a hot minute. This is how Shaman and I actually met. Was Shaman and Shaman's dad came into the card shop and saw me playing Pokemon and teaching people how to play Pokemon. So Shaman's dad set Shaman down with me for me to teach him how to play Pokemon, and then Shaman started telling all of his friends about Pokemon, about the card game. There's a place to play it. So then, like, Shaman and all of his friends showed up. Then I had a lot of college friends that remembered the card game that started joining. And we went from, like, Pokemon... I went from, like, Pokemon being, like, just, like, 5 to 6 people playing it every weekend to, like, 30 people out of nowhere that the shop owner put me in charge of. But I kept doing it because it kept kids out of trouble. They had somewhere to be on Saturdays, as well as other days throughout the week. They had a place to be. So I became someone who basically worked at this shop. This shop went through 2 different iterations during this fucking time frame. And I didn't get paid for it either freaking time. I was just the Pokemon guy. And I wound up keeping people out of trouble by teaching people how to play Pokemon and running tournaments and running events. I also did this for the video game. Like, I started running tournaments for the video game because I was highly competitive back then. And I met a shit ton of people during this time frame, and that point kind of changed a lot of things in my life because I was not... I guess best term was I was not socially integrated. I was not good socially. I was very awkward. I was super awkward, barely ever talked. Even when teaching people how to play the card game, I didn't talk a lot. I was very blunt. If it wasn't explaining a rule or something about the cards themselves, I didn't say shit. We were very reserved back then, and the card game kind of forced me out of my shell. It forced me to learn how to interact with people. It forced me to learn how to basically be a person. And I gained a love for... That's where, like, y'all know me. I love to teach y'all anything that I know. Like, I love to teach you basic things about lore. I love to teach you how game mechanics work. I love to teach you how to do all the stuff I do as a streamer. I love to teach you guys shit. That's where that started. Pokemon is where I got my love to teach people stuff. Because I loved teaching both kids and adults how to play Pokemon and then watching them grow from being rookie players with a starter deck to players that understood nuances and techniques and tricks that you could do in the card game. Like going from a structure deck that is very much like, here, you have whatever the elements are in this deck and that's it, and you can't do anything else, and everything in your deck should be put in there mainly just to attack, to learning to put cards like, back in this format, it was like putting Claydol in your deck. Claydol was in every deck. Did not matter what the deck was, you put Baltoy and Claydol in every fucking deck. Even, it was a fighting element card, which ground, fighting, rock, they're all lumped together in the card game. It's a fighting element card, right? You were putting this shit in electric decks, fire decks, water decks, grass deck. Didn't matter what the deck was. You didn't even have energy to use its attack. You didn't need it for that. You used it for its Pokemon power. Its ability, as they would become later known as. You use it for their abilities. Which was to, if I remember correctly, take 2 cards from your hand, put them at the bottom of your deck, draw 3 cards. Lord, I played that card so much I remember that shit. Still hate that card before deck you had. Oh, I got so much flack for that deck. Hey. At the same time, I built Magmortar, and Magmortar was way worse. Was a million times worse than my Gardevoir deck. You're a person? I thought you were a pumpkin. But yeah, no, my Magmortar deck was way worse than my Gardevoir deck. My Gardevoir deck was still hella mean. My Gardevoir deck was like, Gardevoir was mean. Like, I have ever since that shop shut down, I have this every time I go to a new shop and I go play. I'll go and I'll play for a while, and it's always inevitable that it happens that I'll wind up playing, and eventually I'll get talked to by the shop owner telling me, "Hey, look, man, you used to be a judge, right?" Like, yes. Can you go to doing that? It's like, no, I want to play the card game because you're a judge. You don't get to play as much. It's like, okay, can you go to being a judge for a while? I was like, no, I want to play the card game. And it's like, well, we want you to be a judge instead of playing the card game because we're getting tired of people getting mad at the fact that you're winning because your decks are always mean and people would get upset with me because my decks are mean, but I was not. I would always be very nice. I displayed everything that was going through, and I would give people, like, I would try to show respect to anybody that I fought, but like, I run decks that are like the worst one, the one that got me my first big talking to on how I needed to like curb the power I brought with me was I ran a Mewtwo and Crobat, Team Plasma's Crobat deck. And the Mew from that deck had the ability to copy the attack of anything you had on your bench. Mewtwo hit for power based on how much energy he had, and Crobat ran off of poison, but ran off of toxic poison. So instead of dealing 10 points of damage, or what is 10 or 20 points of damage in between every turn, the deck was dealing 60 damage in between turns. You know, like, my turn ends, 60 damage. If that Pokemon doesn't immediately retreat, it's 60 more damage. And I just had to use Mew to deal the damage. Like, the other two just sat on the bench, happy as a clam. As well as I got to draw an additional card every turn per Crobat I had on my bench. The deck was insanely fast because, like, at the time, having low energy cost Pokemon was unheard of. At least ones that could deal massive damage. And I didn't have to power up all of my Pokemon to do whatever I needed to do. I just needed to power up Mew and keep the other two on the bench and power them up if I thought I was going to need them. So you're either getting hit with an attack that could deal like 200 damage, or before I got to that point, you're getting hit with an attack that dealt 30 damage, poisoned you for 40. I ran a gem that increased that damage by 20, and my turn ends, you take 40, then you take 60 for poison, and then your turn ends, and if it's still there, you take 60 more. And the next turn, I probably had the energy to hit you for 200. That deck went so incredibly fast, it made so many people so incredibly angry that they told me I had to go to being a judge, or I had to go and play with weaker decks. So I said, fuck it, I'll play with weaker decks. I'd make a weaker deck, or something I assumed was a weaker deck, and apparently it wasn't weak enough, because it wasn't meta. I made sure the deck wasn't fucking meta. I still got in trouble. I don't have that problem as much now, but I did play against somebody recently with a new deck I'd recently built, and they decided they didn't want to play against me anymore because it went too fast. So yeah, I wind up, when it comes to Pokemon, I wind up missing the old days of me playing a lot because, like, yes, I did insanely well in most events that I played, but I was also, like, I was teaching people as I played, and a lot of the people that I taught got to my level or got better, or I had some people that I taught that became better than me by a substantial amount. So I didn't have to worry about being the strongest one in the room. Other people could be either my level or stronger than me. So it was fine. I miss those days. And I'm slowly finding, like, I found a couple of places I could play that, like, have, like, advanced skill players. Because I wasn't ever playing against kids. I was always playing against adults that were, the adults were always the ones that would complain. Because, like, Pokemon divides you up by bracket a lot of times. They divide you up by your division, which for anyone over, like, the age of 18 is Master's Division. So, like, it's not even like I'm fighting kids and they're complaining. No, I'm fighting adults that are complaining that they're losing. I would occasionally have matches where, like, a kid walks up and be like, "You want to play?" It's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll play." If I win, the kids are like, "Oh, that's cool, da-da-da," and I get to teach them a little bit about the thing. Or sometimes I would go easy on a kid because it's a fucking kid. You go easy on a kid, man. Like, if the kid's, like, 10 years old, I'm not going to, like, be like, "Yeah, let's immediately just, like, crush the kid," because that's just rude. They're learning still. But against an adult, I'm expecting someone that's an adult that decided to pay money to enter a tournament, sit down at a table. I'm expecting them to, like, at least know how the game's going to work. Especially you've been doing it a while. Ugh. Ugh. Back is still killing me. Ugh. Alright, guys. It's almost 2 o'clock. I've had fun talking to you guys tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed the conversations tonight. Hope y'all have had fun. Sorry getting off on, like, Pokemon/card tangent. Pokemon's one of those things that, like, if I get off on it on, like, a bout of it, I can just do that for, like, the entire stream. But no, we need more Pokemon tangents, to be honest. Yeah, I know you like Pokemon tangents, but not everybody here's like big Pokemon groups. But no, I do need to kind of call it here. I need to go medicate. I need to apply another patch to my back. No pun intended. I mean, it's not like any of the rest of us are nerds at all. Yeah, no, not my community. Not my community. None of y'all are nerds. No. Have a good night and good dreams. Right now, I'm just going to be glad if I can get some sleep. But no. I do thank you guys for sitting and chilling with me tonight and talking with me tonight. I'm sorry it wasn't a gaming stream. The reason why I haven't released a schedule for this week, and I'm probably not going to release one for this week at all, was because nothing I had planned I was able to do this week. My back pain's been killing me. The only thing I managed to get to go off and do was Dead by Daylight, which was on Tuesday. And the rest of the week has just been, like, completely in flux. I was supposed to play Pocopia yesterday and today, and just did not have the ability to do so with the amount of pain I've got going on. I haven't been able to get myself into a state where I could focus on a game. So, there's not going to be a schedule for this week. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear. There may be more chat streams, or I may be able to finally play a game. I'm going to try to play a game tomorrow. And we'll just kind of write it from there and see where we're at. Son of a bitch. But no, As you'll know, this has been Patch Hallows. Remember to keep your spirits high and your lanterns lit. And we'll return again in another bit. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, pleasant nightmares. And I'll see all of you lovely peeps again. Hopefully tomorrow. Good night, peeps.